Hey everyone, now's the time. I'm back from some time away to deliver you regular news, crypto news and NFT news straight hot off the press. Before we move on, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up and follow me on this journey of highs and lows for the foreseeable future. Okay, so enough of that, moving on to the crypto markets. We can see that today is not the best of days for crypto. You can see that Bitcoin is trading around about 23.5k. It's come down from 25k a few days, week or so ago. We're down 1.67%. You can also see ETH down here. Again, that was trading at 2k not so long ago. We're down 2%. Couple of big hits. We can see that Dogecoin is down 6%, Near Protocol 5.7, 5.8% as well, and it seems to be coinciding with the stock market, and with the Nasdaq down around about 1%, and also the S&P and the Dow Jones. Moving on to the Bitcoin chart, we can see obviously, as we're all aware of, a downtrend since last year, and we seem to be ranging in around this sort of area here, with many analysts predicting one more capitulation event, but that does indeed remain to be seen. There's plenty going on in the macro, as we're all aware. Obviously there are inflation issues, certainly across Europe, whereby we're seeing rising inflation. But it was also interesting to see last week's numbers with the US with regards to their inflation data. So their inflation seems to be coming down. So there's also the macro issues, surrounding the war in Ukraine, China issues, including supply chain problems there as well. So if we move on, or if we talk about inflation, today's news in Sky. So Sky News talks about how the UK is now at a 40-year high after recently released numbers. We're now at 10.1% in the 12 months to July, which, as I've already alluded to, is a 40-year high. We can see in this chart here how those inflation numbers are up to this level here, the 10.1%. Last time we saw levels like that was back in the 80s. So it's not a great thing in the UK, but this does match all of the European and worldwide countries in terms of inflation. So the UK at a 40-year high as the cost of living crisis deepens. But there's a few interesting things that I've seen on Twitter recently. This one was taken a few days back from Will Clemente, in terms of the BlackRock news and how bullish it is that they are now involved in Bitcoin and now offering Bitcoin to their clients. It is bullish, but it also remains to be seen whether they will manipulate the market as they do with many other asset classes. But indeed, it is very bullish news that we're seeing more and more institutional investing within the space, and with that I'm hoping it's going to lead to some needs to be common sense regulation, of course. So moving on to the next interesting piece of news that I came across. This was earlier today, and it is that it seems that Coinbase will halt all ETH transactions during the merge, which, as we all know, is around about September the 15th. We can see here. Obviously don't be surprised if that is delayed slightly, as is an issue with all tech updates. We normally see a delay. We've seen delays in the past via Ethereum, but this one certainly seems to be set in stone. But it's something to be aware of in the coming weeks, whereby Coinbase are looking to halt ETH transactions during the merge. So be aware of that one. And then finally we're seeing, I got this one from El Chapo, and this was earlier today, whereby it's something that he alludes to on a regular basis, and he seems to think that the last leg up to 25,400, 25,500. I think we've already seen that anyway, and he seems to think that we are going to see a downtrend and quite possibly a capitulation event, which, as I say, needs to coincide with the stock markets, because there seems to be a coupling between both crypto and stocks and shares. So it's an interesting one to monitor and follow over the coming weeks or so. But in terms of NFTs, I am an NFT bull, regardless of whether it is Ethereum or Solana. And this was an interesting one from the Motley Fool, quite a reputable company here. And they go on to say how Solana NFTs have been quite valuable to the NFT community across all markets. And I firmly believe that Solana NFTs are here to stay. Yes, we've seen a little bit of a downturn over the last few months or so, but that coincides with the current bear market and every other asset class in a downtrend. And I don't think it's just about PFPs or monkey pictures. I think there are a lot of businesses or NFTs, businesses acting as NFTs behind the scenes. They have reputable businesses with strong business plans and a path forwards. I think it's important that these NFT companies are transparent, and I think the good ones are. But I certainly feel like an angel investor at the moment, and I'm investing my money into early stage startups, and these are the ones that you need to look at, as I believe that these will flourish in the future once we move into a bull market. So have a look at them. And then the final one is this piece here from Medium, and it's a short debate on whether the future of NFTs is in Ethereum or Solana. Now, I'm neither a Solana or an Ethereum maxi. I like both. I've traded on both. Yes, granted that the gas fees on Ethereum are slightly more expensive than Solana, but I've had a good experience on both platforms, and it's great to see all these other coins coming through, such as Near and Crypto.com. I believe they've got a lot of NFTs on an upwards trend as well. And it's interesting here to what they've said in terms of the potential. Got both Ethereum and Solana, two prominent chains, seen as driving us into the future of NFTs. And as I've already alluded to, I believe that there is a bright future within the NFT world. And it's not just about monkey pictures or business startups. NFTs could be used for anything in the future. It could be used for insurance, or even as a ticket to a sports fixture, or even a concert. And this is here. We all know that where it all began. There are a few NFTs here that we all have come to know and love, with the CryptoPunks and also Bored Ape Yacht Club. And then obviously we had the introduction of Decentraland, which as far as I'm concerned is still huge and will be huge when we get back into a bull trend. It says here that Solana has had a lot of growth over the last 12 months or so in the NFT space. Yes, as I said earlier, we have been in a bit of a downtrend, but we're getting more and more people that have been onboarded into the Solana space, and it's great to see. It's bustling at the moment. And obviously, when we first started out, we saw platforms come to the fore, such as Solana Art and Magic Eden. Solana Art seems to have died away a little bit, and Magic Eden seems to be the number one platform at the moment. And we can see here the OGs initially, such as Aurora, Famous Foxfed, Pesky Penguins, The Gods, and so on. Many of these have died away, but a few of these are still thriving. And then obviously we've seen the introduction of OK Bears, which took the Solana marketplace by storm, really. Again, they've dropped off somewhat, as have every NFT collection, but certainly in the long term they want to keep an eye out from. And then obviously here with their conclusions, they've mentioned that comparatively the innovation in crypto remains early, and we can likely assume that we're heading towards a future that's more likely to be multi-chain, given how diverse our exercise world needs are. And I totally agree with that. It's certainly an exciting future for the NFT world. Okay, and that is it for today's video. So my closing thoughts from today: remember, we are effectively in a recession. So technically that means that 2 quarters of negative growth means that we are in a recession, and that seems to be the case in the US and many other countries across the globe. Remember, if the US sneezes, everybody else catches a cold, so it's certainly worth keeping an eye on what's happening in the US, whether it's inflation or GDP growth. Please do, when you are researching, keep an eye on what's going on over there. And that's it from me. I will see you all again very, very soon.